Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Kenos here with Arcane Soda. So, Arcane, we saw this 1-0 White Wolf getting ahead in the early game and staying there. Your option 12. What are you doing for this next game?
Uh, I kind of want to sit back and look at the good things we did in the last game and look at the good things we did last week and try to bring those in line um, and kind of take that momentum forward. Uh, had some very good team coordinated plays, especially last week, about how they wanted to control objectives and map pressure, and they just weren't able to do that as much this past game. And I think that's largely because of the position they were in with White Wolf's good job to kind of punish and accelerate their bot lane and mid lane leads. So as long as they can keep bot and mid in even or ahead matchups, I think that option 12 has a really good chance at taking this next game because they can recenter on their objective focusing.
And as I say every week, something I really like to see between games is the ban list adjustments. Are you expecting that there's going to be many ban list adjustments for either team?
I think that there possibly is. There's always the factor of having first pick or second pick that kind of affects if there's a pick that needs to be banned or not. Option 12 will have first pick this game, so I feel like we might see the Anivia ban, or option 12 might just decide that, you know what, it wasn't that we couldn't play around it, it's that we didn't play around it correctly. So I think there's a good chance that Anivia is going to get banned here.
Okay.
I definitely think there's going to be some ban adjustments from both teams.
I mean, would you ban the Kaisa?
No, because they have first pick now, and Prowler does play the Kaisa as well. So there's no reason to ban the Kaisa, especially if you're trading ADCs in the first round, anyways. I think the only like major threat that that would absolutely need to be taken care of is the how the Anivia performed that game. So I don't necessarily think it needs to get banned, but it at least needs to get addressed better.
We do have, well, probably can't run that. I was going to say a poll could be, are they going to ban the Anivia? But that could obviously be gamed, so probably shouldn't do that. We do seem to have a bit of a delay here heading into this second game. So what I'm really wondering for White Wolf's side of it is if they're going to ban anything in particular. Obviously, when you have a game where you're so far ahead for so long, there is a question of, do you feel like you need to ban anything? Possibly a Swain ban could be in the cards. Do you think
A
that?
swing ban is possible, but Wishbone also plays it. So if you're expecting the Kaisa first pick, if it's not banned, then your options pretty much are either pick the Morgana, pick the Swain, or trade one or the other.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we have to keep in mind that there are specific bans that people will want to keep in. Option 12, really not a fan of seeing that Akali, assuming Great Beard Odin is ever going to pick it once it's available again. And, you know, along with things like the Olaf ban for White Wolf. So it's just the little mini game of the pick and ban phase is always so interesting to me.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch how teams adapt and what they put priority on, what we want, what we don't want them to have, that sort of thing. It's always a fun little chess game, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean that is one of the great things, especially at this level of play, is that different, to use the chess metaphor, different pieces have different values based on pro levels as well, right? So you definitely have these champions who you're not necessarily going to see in the LCS or any of the other major high-level leagues, but down here with these platinum players, gold players, bronze players, you know, who knows what the next big spin out, highlight, feared champion for a player will take center stage. Especially when it comes to the flexibility of the players as well. When we see them adapt in their roles. For example, for set 2, J-Dog has certainly developed his champion pool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which you got to keep an eye out on, because you got to look out for these players, and for someone like Prowler especially, who has swapped into these different roles, that creates this unknown. So we are hearing that there was a fire alarm that went off in one of the players' buildings.
Okay.
And
so that's the source for our delay here.
So that is the source for our delay. So how are you guys doing, chat? Anyone out there think that option 12 is going to go 1-1? Or are we expecting a 2-0 for White Wolf to reassert itself? Because if chat doesn't start talking, I'm going to start talking about Runeterra or StarCraft or something.
Well, we can talk about the bans a little bit more if you'd like. I have last game's bans pulled up. Looks like option 12 had banned Akali, Shen, and Tristana. Mm-hmm. So, assuming they want to get rid of the Anivia, which one of those would you take out of the picture? Which one would you allow White Wolf to have a chance to pick?
I mean, I guess it depends on how scared the bot lane is of that Tristana. We do have people in chat saying take the Akali out. But, I mean, Greatbeard of Odin had Akali banned so many times for a reason. So
he didn't have it banned at all last week, and he didn't pick it. And personally, I think that allowing Akali through is the correct choice if there was a wrong or right answer. Just because I feel like if you put the Akali in, Shaken Out Stir is a player that's going to be able to handle that and keep Akali relatively in check. So I don't think Akali is going to be that much of a threat. Alternatively, if you're that scared of the Tristana, you can safely leave the Shen open, and then you can pick something like the Kled or the Scion and just punish him every time he tries to leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the one concern that I have about leaving the Shen in is how much Greatbeard of Odin likes doing those, roaming plays. And Shen can definitely help him with that. We saw quite a lot in the last game about how a lot of the strength of White Wolf came from how long the Anivia and Rivain's characters were still alive. Ace and Rivain were still alive. So having Shen added to that to keep their survivability up could be a little scary as well. But, I mean,
absolutely.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Akali. We do have the chat saying that Odin doesn't want to play Akali anymore. So I'm willing to take that risk, take that chance. We have Sigtal Lord asking for your thoughts on the Seraphine nerfs, if you have any of them.
I didn't see them, so I can't say I have any thoughts on them.
Let's see if I can find them on the old internet.
Whatever the nerfs are, I'm sure they're well needed, and that's my input on it.
Yeah, and I mean, my encoder is being upset. Not sure why. We have Infinite saying that Shen instead of Urgot would have led to a closer game and a loss for White Wolf. Odin needs to be on someone with good damage like Urgot, Aurelia, etc. Maybe. I mean, there were definitely some great plays from the Urgot.
Absolutely. Especially with the AoE damage that Urgot can provide. It just it became towards the end of the game. It became unnecessary just with how much damage the carries were able to pump out with Infernal Soul. But if you take that out of the equation, then it's definitely still going to be useful for some of the CC that he was able to disrupt some engagements or kind of be a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say with a champion like Shen, right? Because with Shen, you've got the lovely taunt, which can so affect the flow of every single fight. And so, maybe in some of those instances where the Urgot and the Malphite were kind of angling a certain direction, the Shen picks them off, and that gives Ace a chance to land any more frostbites. What do we think that Ace doing the damage helped Odin gain his advantages? I mean, Odin definitely got an advantage early, but then he lost it because of his roaming, right?
Yeah, but the 2 kills were from a fight that was between the top, mid, and jungle of both teams, which Ace did put a lot of damage into that fight. But Urgot just also has a decent amount of damage with that percent health damage. So I kind of agree that Ace was able to foster that lead for Urgot, but Urgot kind of paid it back by that teleport a couple minutes later to secure that dragon. The second dragon, I believe it was.
So the 2 Seraphine nerfs that I see here are passive base damage reduced and shield reduced as well by, moderate levels. Do you have any initial reaction to that? To go back to the old question.
Base damage like attack damage or like
passive
one of the abilities?
Damage.
Passive. Okay. I think that I think that's a step in the right direction. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough or not, but I mean, I trust Riot's balanced team to kind of do the right thing. I don't expect them to get it right, but the general thought process seems to be there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that what a lot of this discussion is talking about when it comes to Odin playing Urgot in that last game is just how different each champion can lead to these situations being, right?
Yeah.
There's so many minor factors that can lead into it. Because, Urgot does have the presence with his disruption abilities and that damage. You're always talking about those knee shotguns. But then, you have someone like the Shen that we were talking about who has other disruption tools. Maybe it's a little more durable. Could have prevented some of the Urgot disruption with his attack negation area of effect abilities. So, I mean, it's a definite question of what would have happened, and there's no way to tell, right? Because just like...
We didn't get that result. So we can't say this is better, this is worse, because we don't have the comparison.
Right.
We just have speculation.
Yeah. Just like chess, every game's different. As soon as the bell, well, not as soon as the bell rings in chess, but as soon as the bell rings in League of Legends, every game just spins off into so many factors.
And then we're just left here to wonder for the rest of eternity, or until you stop caring.
Argue the what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
What if they hadn't had that river fight early on that gave Urgot the 2 kills? Urgot might have just been completely shut down the whole game, honestly. Considering how quickly Greatbeard of Odin was kind of boxed out there because of the Udyr ganks.
Yeah, that would have made... That could have also changed the flow of how the game went, because then maybe Udyr wouldn't have been focusing top, and maybe he would have been matching bottom. And then we're sitting there wondering a completely different game because of one interaction that didn't happen.
Maybe the fire drill wouldn't have gone off, but we would have been halfway through this game already, but it was right into an Anivia ban.
Well, that answers that question. Anivia does get banned, so what's the replacement for it? We still see a Laoi ban come through. I'm expecting to see probably a Shen ban here.
Nope, there's
Nope,
the Akali.
they're going to stick with the Akali.
Alright. So Tristana or Shen is going to get through unless option 12 is really shaking up their... Maybe they'll ban Tristana and give Shaken Shen. Nope, they take the Shen off. Alright. So we may see Tristana bot, or Prowler's going to play Tristana.
I think he's likely just going to first pick the Kai'Sa here, because Ravane did a good job on it, but I know it's also a champion that Prowler plays and would probably be comfortable taking it. The other option here is, again, trying to first pick the Swain or the Morgana, because they are going to go with the Kai'Sa. Because the Swain and the Morgana can both be played by either Gregosaurus or Queen Elizabeth, as well as by Wishbone and probably even Ace.
I do like the same bans for White Wolf. That generally seems to be what happens, where players are so comfortable with what happened, they just want to make sure the same sort of pattern repeats. See if it works out for him. Two of the Morgana picked up. Wishbone did very well on that. The Morgana pick, I was a little surprised that we weren't discussing it that much beyond the Black Shield on the Skarner. It was just kind of like a solid presence throughout the game.
Yeah, lots of really good bindings, Black Shield, and then just the magic damage increase on the Black Soil for the Anivia, just very valuable all around.
So they really do like that combination. Looks like Burn the Heretic might be going in strong here, not letting the Hecarim get banned. So Hecarim Skarner jungles. Very interesting.
I think the Udyr did well, but I'm kind of excited to see how this Hecarim's going to play out, since it did get banned away at the previous game. Hecarim's just going to have better general engage for a team fight. And they are going to pick up the Seraphine as well.
Poor Swain. So we'll see if those Seraphine nerfs did anything. Seraphine, of course, being a champion that many people dislike playing against right now. And Caitlyn, okay. This is already turning out to be a different game on all fronts. Caitlyn and Kai'Sa switch sides. Seems not banning the Tristana was a reasonable call.
Well, if you leave the Tristana up, it doesn't really matter, because there's enough AD carries that have a little bit...
What?
Excuse me? Alright, anyways. I guess there's a thought there that Odin might play the Tristana, or Ace might play the Caitlyn or something.
All things are possible. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so very interesting bans here. Who's
okay. Chat's saying that the Tristana ban was targeted at Ace.
Okay. Well, we did see that video that Ace posted of him playing Tristana. I had been wondering what the connection was, if he'd just been playing ADC for fun, but if he's been doing Tristana mid.
There's a few ADCs that you can take mid and do well with, Lucian obviously being one of them that's been shifted more so out of ADC than anything, but I can definitely see Tristana just having the range to be able to be relevant as the game progresses.
Zac and Hecarim. So is this going to be Zac top?
Most likely. I know it is one of Shaken Utsurd's favorite champions. And we see the Orianna come in for Gregosaurus.
Alright, so who's going to be the mid? We have Pointy Ball predicting Irelia or Yone. Neither of which are really aces.
Let's see Azir. because it's so outlandish that we're not going to see it.
Vel'Koz. Oh, baby. Alright. We do also have Robbie Tate in chat saying that he will buy Mixlink the skin. Assuming he gets added.
Very honorable of you to follow up on your word.
Alright, so kind of a similar team comp from White Wolf in 3 of the 5. Vel'Koz a little more artillery, but still equally bursty.
We see some pretty scary engage potential here on the side of option 12, though.
Oh yeah, Hecarim and Zac.
I'm just going to go ahead and give this one the edge to option 12 right away, because you've got Hecarim, Zac, just as your just strong chargers with the Orianna to combo. Kai'Sa can dive in there. Seraphine can just ult through the entire team and hit Fountain. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I like how 12's team looks again. There's a lot of disruption abilities here. Hecarim's Fears, Zac's Bounces, Orianna's ult, Seraphine, like you said. I haven't seen Ace play Vel'Koz much. I'm very interested to see how that works out for him.
It's like riding a bike.
I
You just pick your squiggly tentacles back up and start slapping. It's fine.
Yes, we all ride bikes like that. I do like the durability on both teams. We did see that Urgot and Skarner were very hard to kill in that first game, and of course Zac. Nothing needs to be said about Zac's durability.
Yeah, the Vel'Koz and Urgot are both going to be kind of necessary to deal with that Zac, just because of their percent health damage that they have in their kits.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they are able to get a good response to the Vel'Koz. Urgot and Skarner can kind of try to keep people off of him. And, get some artillery stuff here. Pointy Ball saying that the game is going to come down to the bot lane, because Caitlyn and Morgana are super oppressive. What are your thoughts on that?
They definitely are. There's a lot of serious and deadly pick potential with Caitlyn Morgana. If you lock someone down with a binding, they're almost guaranteed dead, because you can just throw a trap down underneath them and you've got that guaranteed headshot. It's one of my favorite lanes to run, just because of how aggressive it can be. I think, well, most of the carry potential from this game is through the bot lane anyways. The Orianna does a lot of damage, but is mostly there for utility. And the Vel'Koz is also a little bit more utility in how he can implement his damage. So Kai'Sa and Caitlyn are just definitely going to be your damage rocks in a sense for this game.
I do like the single target punish potential here. You've got the Morgana binds into the Caitlyn traps, into the Vel'Koz disruptions, not to mention Skarner.
Yeah,
so I
Skarner can definitely facilitate all that with his ult into a binding or out of a binding. You never know what happens.
So I think if anyone gets caught out, they're in a lot of trouble here for option 12, but I'm on the same page with a lot of people here that I think 12 has a much better looking lineup this time, and we'll see what happens. Going into game 2, and we had a prediction in chat that they would all be blue, and they all are. And with a lack of skins on White Wolf, option 12, I think, easily takes the skins this time.
I want to say nobody wins, but Cosmic Charger, Hecarim, and Pool Party Zac are both, kind of fun skins. Pool Party Zac being the fun skin, Hecarim being a relatively cool skin. So I guess I'll give it to option 12. I don't like either of the ADC skins. It makes me sad.
You don't like the KDAs?
I don't like the all-out set.
Hmm.
I just don't like the champion model for the all-out Kaisa.
Okay. Disappointed by the lack of a Vel'Koz skin. Arclight, so good. I mean, we can pretend Mixlink has a Skarner skin because he's got one coming to him.
Chat's asking me why I dislike the Caitlyn skin. I dislike the Caitlyn skin because it feels clunkier than Headhunter or... What's the other one I use? Lunar Wraith. It just feels so much easier to cancel my auto attacks that I do it accidentally. I like the aesthetic, I just don't like how the skin actually feels when I'm playing it. If that makes sense.
I suppose with the visual differences and things of that nature that can come up. Alright, we got all the overlays and stuff set up, just waiting for everyone to actually spawn in. And then we'll be good to go.
Alright, are we going to see any level 1 tactics?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of these champions don't really have a lot of great level 1 stuff. I mean, you could maybe go...
You gotta give the viewers a show, you know?
Could maybe do Morgana binding into Vel'Koz's knock-up. But then Vel'Koz doesn't have a great early laning phase.
And then you follow it up with a Caitlyn trap, and that's a level 1 kill.
Ah, yes, the classic Caitlyn trap level 1. Good binding there. A lot of damage on Burn the Heretic, actually. Oh, good stopping of that follow-up.
You can actually safely take trap as Caitlyn level 1 just because you hit level 2 so fast that it doesn't really matter. And you're not really punishing yourself too hard in lane pressure, just because the first 2 waves you're generally just auto-attacking anyways.
Well, it would be interesting to see if the trap would have facilitated a kill there. Because Ravane did land the Q, which was a reasonable amount of damage. But that automatic...
Headshot would be nice, plus it gives your teammates a chance to get another attack in. So, I don't necessarily think it would have guaranteed the kill there, but it would have... Knowing the binding was going to land would have turned that into a higher percentage play.
Interesting potential ambush tactic here by option 12. Doesn't go anywhere, though. Ooh, binding actually just lands straight up on that Kaisa. Mixlink coming in once again for that level 2 gank, misses his shot unfortunately, and Brigosaurus actually steps forward to deal some chip damage. Might end up being a little upsetting for those who want to see the Skarner just quick clear the jungle again. He's definitely trying to bully, but a little low on health. Top lane, meanwhile, a little less exciting.
We got some roots traded in the bot lane. Hecarim is another one of those junglers that can clear pretty quickly. So Mixlink falling behind in jungle clear is potentially going to be a problem again if he can't get those ganks and lane pressure plays to work out.
Yeah, we'll see if Burn the Heretic decides to be a little bit more aggressive with it. Have the Skarner coming in here. Yeah, very low again. This is actually where we had the first big fight in that game 1.
Burn the Heretic is on the opposite side of the map this time, so not really going to be too worried about that this time around.
Both bot lane for option 12 have gone back already. Mix of pressure and getting some early game items. Heretic going after his own crab. Once again, Mixlink coming in here. A lot of early pressure. Once again, misses the skill shot as well.
Shield eats most of the tower damage, so not really that much of a loss there. Burn the Heretic's currently up 2 camps, and that's because of Mixlink's pathing at the start there. Went from blue buff to try to gank into Raptors into red, and then trying to gank again. Some damage traded around in the top lane. Burn the Heretic looking for something in the bot lane here. Is going to get spotted on minions, possibly there.
I think they did.
Just decided to leave.
Yeah, that was a good fallback, which they probably wouldn't have done if they hadn't seen him there. Ace once again very low. It's actually kind of scary, fortunately for him. Hecarim not in a place to follow up. Top lane is just being top lane. Great Beard of Odin is not pressuring Shaken as much as he was last time. A little bit of a back and forth though, just as I say that. Oh man, Ace, you gotta go back at this point, I think. I do like the binding fights going on here. Prowler taken low after another exchange. It's like Wishbone and Elizabeth both shoot out their bindings at the same time. Just the endless back and forth.
Yeah, seeing a lot of good chip damage traded back and forth. White Wolf's winning that fight in the bot lane. Gregosaurus definitely won that fight in the mid lane.
Yeah, Ace was thinking of going back, but in classic Ace fashion does not go back and is instead hovering with no health in the lane. Ooh, good root there by
binding
Wishbone.
lands.
Good flash there by Ravane. Oh! That last
Flashes
second.
galore.
Shaken taken very low as well, but we'll be able to get out because he's Zac.
I like the flash net because it guarantees another headshot, and the flash from Prowler was just a little too late to kind of avoid it. Definitely didn't think he was going to get the trap there, so went for the net instead, and it obviously worked out, got him the kill, and that gives them a wave advantage.
Ooh, Mixlink actually might be able to grab Elizabeth here.
Elizabeth scouting out the dragon, wondering where that Skarner is, and is gonna find out.
Drive by Skarner.
Doesn't even want to do damage, just wants to jump scare.
Grab that blast cone so that option 12 is at a little bit worse for wear when the dragon does happen.
They do scout it out again. They don't have any wards for it at the moment. And there's one.
Oh, both junglers see each other and run away. Oh man, a ghost horse. Oh no, a crystal skeleton or scorpion. Alright, so we do have a presence now from White Wolf in this pit. Will they do anything with it though? They are kind of sandwiched here. Prowler, oh, Ace coming in here, big root there on the jungler. Looks as though that's going to be the end of the Hecarim. Burn the Heretic goes down. We've seen this before, Great Beard of Odin teleporting in just to supply additional pressure.
This TP I do think was unnecessary, before you ask me. I like that it secures the dragon, but I definitely don't think, this time especially, that it was needed. Ravane getting some more damage onto Gregosaurus on the backside of things. And Odin's going to lose a lot of pressure in the top lane here, which is rather unfortunate because he did just have a good trade that brought Shaken down to about half health. Another binding lands onto the Kai'Sa. Looks like Mixlink and Ravane are here to match. Queen Elizabeth going to go down here. Oh. Another binding lands. Wishbone is just sniping these.
Yeah.
Odin makes his way to the top lane again and gets some nice chunk damage onto Shaken. This is looking really good for the side of White Wolf again.
Yeah, great binding by Wishbone there in that bot lane. Multiple times, can't be said enough. But yeah, I agree about the teleport as well. It did not seem like option 12 was being aggressive enough to warrant it. But you know, safe than sorry. They're winning in the lanes that matter right now. Top lane is not a factor at this point, so I don't hate the idea. Oh, we do have the Hecarim coming around the side here. Ace does use the ultimate, and now is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Burn the Heretic does not have his own ultimate available just yet. He's very close to 6, but it has not quite going to hit it. So Ace is fine at the moment.
Awfully convenient that Ace decided to ult to just wave clear right before the Hecarim shows up. Keeps him nice and safe so he doesn't have to step too far up there.
I do like all this top lane posturing that's going on here. Checking the gold, it's about what you'd expect. Ace once again very low. Shaken doing some jungle camping actually.
If that shockwave lands, Ace is in a world of hurt.
Oh. Time for the Gregosaurus Masterclass. Here we go. Is he gonna do it? Nope. Pings all over the place. Ace wisely backs off. Mixlink once again invading. Just greedily getting those beacons. Oh, we have another fight here up in the top lane as well. Really don't think the Zac is in any too much danger at all. Neither of these.
That's in the bot lane here too. Wishbone gets an ult off.
Oh.
Ooh, another binding to seal the deal there.
Zac teleport coming in here. This all is going to be spotted by that control ward, but here comes the ultimate. This is going to be a dead Caitlyn at the very least. Wishbone may go down as well.
Heal is not going to be enough.
Ooh.
Great turnaround by the side of option 12. They were just shy on killing the Seraphine, but the greed got the better of them.
Yeah, good rotation. Love to see it. Finally getting that Hecarim's ultimate into play. And picking off who need to get picked off because that bot lane was getting very scary. So now, you know, a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of extra gold.
And now Shaken Not Stirred made his way down there, so Great Beard of Odin gets to repay the favor by taking some plates of his own.
And White Wolf does also... Oh, Ace in a little bit of trouble here. Good separation there. Ults as well.
Shockwave is going to hit just to disrupt the ult. Some nice chip damage on the backside of it. And as you were saying, Mixlink does have the Rift Herald now. Does drop it as Shaken Not Stirred engages, and that's just going to be enough for a charge.
Oh, just barely doesn't kill the first turret. All of this damage is going all over the place. Combat all over. Everyone is rotating. Love to see it. Dragon up in 38 seconds. Will the bot lanes stay here? Looks like they're planning to.
We do have vision wars going on right now. Option 12 trying to secure some vision as White Wolf is setting up their own. Prowler goes in onto Wishbone. Wishbone able to root and flash out. Does ult though as well. I don't necessarily know if the shackles were necessary.
Looks like there might be a bit of a disadvantage here for option 12. Gregus. Oh, Prowler! That's going to be a big snipe. Is Great Beard of Odin going to get all of the damage up? Does he have ultimate available? He does not.
Ult landed onto the Kai'Sa, but Kai'Sa just wasn't low enough to be pulled back in.
Yeah,
that's
too much.
Both the carries for option 12 really low here, so White Wolf starts this up. We got Gregosaurus TPing back in.
Yeah, not going to be enough. We do have the Hecarim trying, but it doesn't look like it will be enough. Doesn't manage to pick off one. Will he get another Skarner? Also taken very low. Good disruption here by Shaken, and suddenly Ravane is taken very low. That Mountains Rise, I think, actually got in the way a little bit, which is kind of funny.
That was a huge counter engage by the side of option 12. Dragon goes to the side of White Wolf, but all the kills go for option 12. Gold lead is now just about even, and that's really what you like to see for the side of option 12 here.
Yeah, that was a great turnaround. I think that there was a bit of complacency for White Wolf there. They thought that they were up. They certainly were in terms of numbers, but that Hecarim ultimate is not something to be slept on.
Yeah. Burn the Heretic able to find that perfectly placed ultimate, followed up by Shaken Not Stirred just jumping in there and disrupting it. His own stuff. Elizabeth throws through her ult, and it's just That CC chain that we were talking about before the game.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the Zac comboing with the Hecarim in any sort of combination. Ooh, Wishbone misses a rare binding. And there's just action all over right now. Any one of these champions could theoretically get picked off for either side, depending on how the engagement goes. Ace, for example. A little bit of danger here. No vision to really spot him, though.
First tower does go down for Greatbeard Odin. Unfortunately, it's after the plates are gone, so it doesn't get that little bit of extra cash in his pocket, but still going to be a nice addition to kind of try to get him caught up to this Zac that is now 500 gold ahead of him.
Yeah, Odin actually in a bit of a precarious position here between two tanks, but neither of them seem to know he's there, and he gets the blue buff and should get out. Good push here. Will the Hecarim come from behind? He does look like he will be. Wards are going to spot him. Zac jumps in as well. Wishbone tries to throw it on the binds. It doesn't really work, and Ravane is taken out immediately. Here comes Shaken Not Stirred. Will he grab anyone else out? They're chasing McSlink instead. Great flash over the wall. Should just be one death. Just one death. But yeah, Ravane definitely more on the back foot this time. This Caitlyn is getting picked off at every opportunity, but neither ADC is doing great right now.
White Wolf is going to start to need to get a little bit of deeper wards in, because you have to watch for those long-range Zac engages, especially with the follow-up that Hecarim can apply.
Ooh. Almost caught him napping there, but fortunately they're able to step back. And yeah, absolutely, both Hecarim and Zac have this ability to sort of engage from out of sight. Zac more, obviously, with his ability to leap over walls. But the Hecarim can, you know, if there's two brushes between you and your safety zone, that Hecarim's going to come swooping in if you're not careful. So definitely more wards, keep eye out, and, you know, hopefully they can kind of recover, because there's definitely been a momentum shift after that dragon fight.
Yeah, we see the team fight potential of Option 12's comp starting to come online, and White Wolf is going to have to start to position a little bit better to deal with it. It's twice in a row that the main engage has landed onto both Ravane and Wishbone, and I believe also Ace.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about these sorts of team comps, compared to like last game where most of the engagement was coming from the Malphite. Now there's multiple engagement possibilities. If, you know, Hecarim's ult's down, you've got Zac's everything. If Zac's a little bit out of position, Hecarim can come in. Not to mention,
Oriana can give them both some help regardless of situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice binding combination there on Prowler. Dragon is coming up in 35 seconds. This will be the third dragon. This could be Option 12's first dragon of the whole contest, actually, which is kind of interesting. Closing in here on Wishbone does throw up a nice black shield, but here comes the Zac. Landing instead onto Ace. Ace caught out. Just gone. Vel'Koz doesn't really have anything to do with this, and instead of being involved in the contest at Dragon, we have Greatbeard of Odin split pushing.
Yeah, and the engage range of Zac there is just insane. Able to pick off the Vel'Koz from River, I believe.
Yeah. And now the Zac is teleporting to try to make an example of Greatbeard of Odin, but Greatbeard of Odin does manage to get out before Shaken gets there. We do have chat commenting that White Wolf needs to slow the game down a bit.
I do agree with that in a sense. As the game goes on, the Skarner and the Hecarim are just going to turn into CC tank machines. But the Zac and the Kai'Sa are also going to scale up and become scarier than they are now. And I don't know how well, especially with the pace of the game, White Wolf's going to be able to match that.
Yeah, speaking of CC tank machines, there's a lot of CC tanking going on right now. Mixlink on the run from Burn the Heretic. Do manage to shut him down. Shaken was taken out, but he's Zac. Wishbone does manage to just barely survive for a second. Ace taking some artillery damage here from Prowler. Turret dies, nobody cares at the moment. Wishbone once again taken very low. Ace taken out as well. The big shout out to the Herald for blocking some of those Morgana Qs.
Yeah, and I think that's a fight that White Wolf probably should have disengaged earlier on, rather than trying to pick up whatever kills they could. And now we see that it's not just a Prowler thing, it's a Caitlyn thing, where your ADC's on the other side of the map working on towers while a fight's going on around Baron Herald.
Don't go back in there. Alright, so we'll see if Revenge... Yeah, it looks like Burn the Heretic is going to let him go. So top turret goes down in the meantime. 3 turrets to 1. That was the first turret option 12 is picked up. The gold lead is actually equal, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, the fights have been all going the way of option 12, allowing them to catch up on the objectives that they've been losing out on, but that seems to be changing directions as well.
Look at the gold and CS differential on the ADCs. A little crazy. About a 2,000 gold lead, 50-ish minions. Have a big push coming out here from these from the bushes here in this mid lane. Only outer turret left standing for option 12. Can they poke this down? Caitlyn's coming to help. That should be enough, though. Hecarim is edging around the side.
I think the deciding factor for how long, who's going to win these fights is going to be how long can Ravain survive in these fights with that gold lead that you just pointed out.
We do have a bot lane redux in the, or a mid lane redux in the bot lane. Ace very low, Gregosaurus doing just fine health wise. That could blow up any second. So not quite able to get that turret despite their best positional efforts. We'll see if they're able to do it with another minion wave coming in. 90 seconds to the next dragon. Ooh, Elizabeth very low, the snipe! Shield?
The Q doesn't connect, so damage isn't going to be as scary, but shields and is totally fine.
Alright. Might be able to get this turret now here. 3 champions here. Mixlink can just probably punch it down. Prowler. Oh, Prowler!
Very good flash engage by Mixlink. Kill is secured by Wishbone. Not the ideal person to pick up the gold there, but gold still goes over to White Wolf, and that's all you really care about at the end of the day. As these neutral objectives keep coming up, Dragon and Baron and whatnot, White Wolf's in a bit of a hole here with Mixlink 2 levels down on Burn the Heretic for this smite.
Yeah, Mixlink actually in a little bit of trouble here as he gets caught.
Good flash by Ravain.
Lots of good flash engages here. That is the end of the Caitlyn. Will Mixlink go down as well? Probably not, because it's a good speed boost inside his own territory. Oh, but the turnaround here. Great Bear coming around the other side, and the Vel'Koz as well. Unfortunately, the laser is not quite on target as much as they would like it to be. Big team charm. Massive team ultimates all around. And that's a 4 for 1. I don't think Wishbone's gonna binding her way out of this one.
Very good effort by White Wolf to try to turn around on the backside of there, but just the CC stacking ultimates of the Orianna and the Seraphine just decimates the fight.
Yeah, very ridiculous actually when you just watch it unfold. So yeah, White Wolf has got to find answers to all of this CC pouring on them. And I'm not sure what it is. Picking off in lanes and then trying to start fights elsewhere?
Well, the Caitlyn got dove really hard at the beginning of the fight, taking the Hecarim ult and maybe even the Zac ult. Definitely was not good to lose her at the start. If she's in that fight, she pumps out a lot of damage, but very good job at threat priority on option 12, getting that pick, then proceeding to turn around onto the fight, and then just blowing everyone up at the same time.
I'd like to remind everyone that if you do hear my cat in the background, feel free to post some cats in chat. She is very opinionated about everything that we're doing here. Not to say that cats in chat won't encourage her, but... Gold lead's still pretty close despite all this momentum shift, mostly because of those turrets. Oh, Burn the Heretic going in right away on Ace. Does the Gregosaurus there to back him up as well. Good flash. Wishbone trying to help. It looks as though they're going to chase him away. Meanwhile, there's excitement going down here as well. Burn the Heretic almost taken out. Another good binding. This could be what White Wolf is kind of looking for, actually. They've managed to pick off 2 members of Option 12. I think they killed Gregosaurus and Baron here.
Yeah, that's 3 dead on the side of option 12, and that's really good for White Wolf. Finding those picks, finding those bindings, stuns, what have you.
Yeah, it was a split team as well. You had 2 members of them trying to go after Ace, who unfortunately had Wishbone there to support, and you have Shaken split pushing, so that's one of the CC chains that is not available.
Shaken knowing he can't really do anything about the Baron, so just trying to do whatever he can in this lane to get the tower, get some damage on the tower, and just knowing it's time to go.
And it's a good pick-off for Baron too, because there's another 2.5 minutes until the next dragon, so this can be spent pushing lanes, and maybe applying a little more pressure, but they've got to look out because it's the grouping up that option 12 is really going to start pressuring them with. But we'll see how option 12 decides to respond. Both junglers are still very rather underleveled, but I mean, so are the ADCs for option 12 as well, surprisingly enough.
Mixlink able to turn that level discrepancy into just 1 level instead of 2. Definitely more helpful in those objective contests.
Alright, this is going to be a big push down the center lane here. Gregosaurus is not around. Looks like he's starting to rotate now. Maybe a little too late if we're getting positionally here. We do have Shaken waiting in the wings. Are they going to back off? Are they like, their spider senses are tingling? Look at all these wards.
They know something's up. They're just going to let the minions do their work and play smart and kind of just slow push siege this.
Yeah, gotta be careful because there is a, with this Hecarim and this Zac, there is kind of a idea of like the trap closing shut on you the further you push into their territory.
See the Zac positioning on the side, trying to find that angle in. Hecarim doesn't need to find that angle, he can just run in.
Oh, Zac's prepping, here we go. Jumps in on the back, immediately on the Caitlyn Great Beard mode, and trying to be as aggressive as possible. Ravane is already dead. Queen Elizabeth takes out. Mixlink manages to get away. Prowler is taken out as well. Wishbone manages to pop up that hourglass, but it's not going to be quite enough. Ace manages to get back as well. Damage over time isn't quite going to do it. That's a 3-for-1.
Ace does manage to find a really good angle on that ult, but unfortunately, option 12 found that same angle on literally everything.
4-0-9 on this Zac. He's a scary Fed boy.
I don't think Ravane had flash available at the time of engagement, so very good by Shaken Outstard to find him and kill him before he's able to make his way to the back of the fight and just chip away.
And as the chat's saying, that was textbook, and just like a textbook, the next page says, go get dragons. So,
and why not scuttle while you're there?
Yeah, why not scuttle? He's there. Pick that up.
3 mountain dragons for the side of option 12 is just absolutely disgusting to have on this Zac and the Hecarim.
Heretic is spotted. Mixlink could come in here. Actually emoting. Is it a bait? Double teleport coming in here. Triple teleport coming in here. Ace coming in to try to disrupt. They do manage to deal a lot of damage down, and they just managed to pick up the Kaisa. Damage on the Hecarim as well. Massive shield from Gregosaurus, but they're disrupting him. Wishbone very low. Mixlink very low. Massive laser coming in here from the Vel'Koz. Mixlink gonna go very low as well. So durable, but there's got the ultimate, the passive rather, and Greatbeard Odin is not gonna be able to get out in time.
Yes, so many resistances on the Zac, between just Zac being durable plus those 3 Mountain Drakes. Very good attempt by White Wolf to try to make something happen there, knowing that they kind of gotta grasp at whatever they can find because they can't fight straight up. They get 1 TP committed. Yeah. Anything on the side is useful. Better getting money than dead, you know?
Well, yeah, and it's applying more of that objective pressure, because, I mean, that's really where I think White Wolf's strength is going to be the longer this game goes. Call out Elizabeth for really good ults. I would, but I don't want the chat to eat me for saying nice things about Seraphine.
I thought we did call out multiple good Seraphine ults that just wrapped fights up real quick.
Well, the issue is that there's so many, right? So maybe we're just not saying enough of them. If we call out 2 and there's 7, you know, maybe that's the concern is. Yeah, but the Seraphine ult is just icing on the cake on top of everything else that this team has going for it.
Yeah, it's really hard to commend one player when you've got 4 players on the side of option 12 that all have really good CC engage ults that are all doing everything they can with them.
And we have double split pushing going on here for White Wolf. That is quite challenging considering who they have here in the mid lane. This could be a massive collapse onto Ace or the combination of Mixlink and Wishbone.
I think option 12 is just going to start up this Baron right away, knowing that Ravane isn't really in the area, and White Wolf doesn't really have the potential to just try to straight up fight this, and they'd most likely have to try to go for a steal.
Oh, once again Shaken coming in here. Ace got the good black shield on him. There was the Seraphine ult, and Wishbone goes down immediately. Ravane getting a lot of damage on Shaken. They do manage to take him out because his passive is down 900. Oh, you hate to see it. The flash. Stopwatch over Power Color Congressman. Ace doing a massive laser as well. Greatbeard Odin deletes Heretic. It looked like he had so much more health, but the shield wasn't enough, and suddenly White Wolf is turning this around. Ace very low. May want to not chase much more than that.
Ravane misses the flash, but Ace saves him by just deleting everyone that was right there. Gregosaurus just barely misses the timing on the shockwave. Very unfortunate.
Ravane about to get killed by Baron. Yeah, there's not enough here. Getting Baron there is definitely something that you might consider, but there just isn't enough there for them to get it.
They needed their tanks there at the start of that, and they could have done it with, I think, just Urgot Ravane. Urgot Caitlyn, I think, could have just done that. But Dragon's up in 40 seconds, and I think it's correct of them to try to position for that, because Mountain Soul for option 12 is going to be very difficult to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mountain Soul would be terrifying on this Zac, terrifying on the Hecarim. Oh, Wishbone misses a binding. This is rough because White Wolf had probably the best fight they've had so far this game. They're up 4,000 gold, but they can't take a real fight. It doesn't feel like, at least. Good opening there. Oh, all of the damage immediately onto the Kaisa. Is that the right person to get? I don't know. Burn the Heretic taken. Big charm there from the Seraphine. Wishbone popping invulnerability. Elizabeth is taken out as well. That instant kill damage from Greatbeard Odin is so huge. Wishbone getting chased around. They're focusing Wishbone instead of the people who are actually dealing the damage. And suddenly it's a 3-for-1.
None of the long-range engage was able to hit either of the carries on the side of White Wolf, and that's just really, really good for White Wolf to pick this up.
Yeah, that was
5 minutes ago. It looks like the Jaws were closing in on this game on them, and they're able to find a couple really good fights that I don't know if it's them outplaying or Option 12 misplaying, specifically that last fight, but either way, they've definitely got their foot back in the door in this game. They have a 5k gold lead now. They're going to take Baron, and
maybe
Soul Point is matched.
For a second there, I thought Shaken was going to go in. Oh, Prowler actually jumps in here. Here comes the big counter jump. Will he be able to take down the Baron here? Good ult delaying Zach's appearance, but everyone is so low. Lizabear taken down almost immediately, though. Shaken trying to chase in on here. Does have Gregosaurus to support. Great Brave Odin is so tanky, though. He pops that passive and he runs because Burn the Heretic's chasing. That should be a dead Great Brave Odin here.
Will die here, but the sacrifice is worth it. They do trade out
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Yep.
But they do still hold on to Baron.
Yeah, 2 for 2, of course, is relevant because that means that 2 champions are not going to have Baron buff on them.
White Wolf able to split up the fight just enough to keep Ravane and Ace alive there is so key, because that was almost a beautiful play by Option 12 to just jump in there. Oh, you're low from taking Baron? Well, you're gone.
Yeah, I think that a lot of what's been happening to Option 12 over these last 5 minutes or so has been a little bit of target issues, where they're, you know, Great Brave Odin is so durable now that he's surviving a lot of that damage output. You have, like you said, Ravane and Ace are not being the primary targets anymore, Wishbone being great bait, and the tides are turning a little bit here.
Yeah, Wishbone at that dragon fight had a really good ultimate as well. Kind of just getting a little bit of damage in there, but more so hitting 3 targets, I think stunning 2. Pretty useful to help secure that fight.
And there was the comment earlier about how well Lizabear is doing, so we've seen that she seems to be a primary target in these fights. The last 2 or 3 fights, she's been taken out almost immediately. So that barrier isn't there. That additional support bonus is not there.
Yeah, and you see Prowler having a rough time this game, but that's also because he's been heavily focused by the side of White Wolf as well in these engagements. If you kill the bot lane, you take out a large portion of the damage threat. So, good job by White Wolf to start to get their threat priority in line. It looks like Odin's just going to die 3v1 in the top lane here, but White Wolf's, he's buying a lot of time for White Wolf to push in the mid lane here.
Yeah, especially since he did not have Baron buff. So suddenly, the people with the Baron buff are the ones pushing in the mid lane. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get that much. Well, maybe they'll get the turret.
They'll get the tower here. Ace, Flash, and Black Shield to keep him safe from that shockwave. Would have been absolutely tragic and terrifying if he gets hit by that and dies.
Dragon Soul is still in the mix now for both teams. Mixlink actually almost getting chased here. The grab from Zach missed as well. Zach is sitting at, where is your health, my friend? Almost 4,000 health. Love to see it. But I think the game, at least not is going to be decided, at least a pivotal chapter is going to be written within the next minute and a half, as the Soul is such a big deal for both of these teams. Oh, we got the...
Option 12 has the positioning for the Death Bush. Regosaurus stepping forward to kind of get rid of any tools.
We'll do the big screen here for this. Who's going to face check that? Uh-oh, Zach coming in the other way, actually jumps in right away on Wishbone. Ace has to run. Wishbone does throw up the Black Shield, but isn't quite enough. There is a good, once again, Prowler's taken out right away. Burn the Heretic is pulled away as well. Big Seraphine out. Gregosaurus picks off of Wishbone. Shaken, jumping all over the place. Ace is taken very low. Great play by the Urgot here, managing to zone that out. Will they be able to take out the Zach? They do. They get Gregosaurus as well. 2 for 3.
Ravane is just chasing off the Hecarim and the Seraphine now. Very good placement of the trap there to get vision on the Scryer's Bloom to hit it. Yeah, and that fight was almost over in favor of option 12 with the Seraphine ult into the Orianna ult. Especially since the Caitlyn was not with the team for most of the fight, but White Wolf able to pick up the fight on the backside, and they snag Mountain Soul for themselves.
Yeah, I think the disruption abilities of Urgot were a big part of that, because Vel'Koz lived a little bit longer than he should have because he had a big old Urgot sitting right in front of him.
Baron spawning in 45, so I think White Wolf is going to play for that. Try not to make too many aggressive forward plays or get caught or anything until that's all wrapped up. I think they're going to try to grab that and slowly push in this game.
There's a lot of playmaking opportunities here in both of these on both of these teams. We've seen that a lot of these fights have come down to factors of inches. Paolo is one of the players taken right away. Great job by Mixlink with these Skarner ults as well. We've seen that when he takes the Zac and the Hecarim out of the fight, it seems to go much better for his team. Not to mention, Prowler keeps getting picked off right away, which is
That
rough
last
as well.
one in at the front, I think it was because of a lack of vision on the rest of the team, but definitely not ideal. We got a fight starting up here.
So many ults coming in all at once. We have the Prowler ults trying to get in there. Does manage to lock in a double kill. Lots of teleporting effects coming in as well. Greatbeard of Odin trying to push forward. That is a 2 for 1.
Ravane and Ace are still alive in the backside with Greatbeater Odin for the front line. This is the ideal 3 that you still have up for the side of White Wolf. Looks like option 12 is just going to take this advantage and try to push in the mid. White Wolf looking for a collapse. Are going to find one onto Gregosaurus. Down he goes.
Yeah, Lizabear a little out of position here. Fortunately, the team is warping around, so they might be able to link up again. Shaken does jump, but is taking so much damage from Ravane and Greatbeard of Odin. Good slow there. Oh.
Ravane is at this point where he just does so much damage, but just misses the Q onto the Seraphine there for a little bit of extra damage.
Yeah, that was a great job positionally by Prowler. Was able to pick up those 2 kills. I think that if Kaisa gets any more online, that's going to be bad news for White Wolf, because that is a missing piece of this team.
Well, how much more online can you get? Because Kaisa's sitting at half an item short of full build, whereas Caitlyn's already there.
We'll find out when she gets the full build.
Positionally, much better by Prowler in that fight. Didn't get hard engaged on by the CC of White Wolf, so was able to stay alive, was able to do a lot of damage in that fight.
Yeah, wasn't sitting directly in Ace's laser, like we've seen Prowler end up being in these major fights where White Wolf has won. Ace?
This is the 4th Baron for White Wolf in this set. Twitch chat was asking. Because they got 2 game 1, correct?
I might have only been 1. I don't recall exactly. Alright, so we're having a big fight here now, potentially brewing in the bot lane. There is no Greatbeard of Odin, so a lot of that tankiness is missing. And they're just stalling because they know that they've got the momentum, they've got the Baron, and Greatbeard of Odin continues to push. Wishbone taking some shots to the face. Really got to look out for this engage here.
Odin does have TP. He doesn't have any flank wards to TP too, but he can get to the team if necessary. He's just going to split push. Zach's going to come and answer that.
Yeah, it looks like they're willing to fight under turret here as the Zac goes to interrupt Greatbeard of Odin pushing.
Looks like they're going to try to make something happen onto this Urgot. I don't know if that's the right choice, because you're losing everything on the bottom side.
Yeah, bottom side is just getting destroyed, and Zach is getting eaten alive. That ultimate absolutely obliterates him, and Prowler may go down also here. That's
He does.
2-on-1.
And this should be GG coming through for the side of White Wolf.
I would not have expected Odin to win that, but he just has the damage output that wasn't available on the other side of it.
He's got the armor shard available now, and, well, he's got the armor shard of Black Cleaver, as well as he had the ulti available. That percent health damage just from his passive just gets to be so much.
Oop, and now the game crashes.
All right, we love to see. It's why we're here.
Great come from behind win there by Wolf. Absolutely. White Wolf picked themselves up from last week.
Yeah, and the fights at the end there definitely started to get way more explosive than they were in the beginning. Fights were heavily one-sided in the favor of option 12 at the beginning, and then even more so towards a White Wolf in the mid game, but definitely became extremely volatile at the end there.
Well, unfortunately, I do not have a score screen. Thanks, Riot.
I also do not. That's unfortunate.
But we do have an interview with Greatbeard of Odin, so let's hop over in there. Greatbeard of Odin, congratulations on the 2-0.
Thank you. It feels good after last week.
All right. Could you maybe speak up a little bit? Sounds like you're a little bit quiet.
Oh, yeah, sorry. This
nope.
better?
A little bit, yeah. So after week 1, obviously you guys were the only team to not have a win. How'd you guys approach this week?
So it was basically kind of about simplifying down our comp. We had two champions, particularly with like the Aurelia and the Vayne, that make team fights a little bit more difficult. So we decided to rein it in a bit, play something that's a little bit more easier, at least all across the board, and just make the team fights a little bit less neither being that perfect situation to win, more just be able to ways to handle more situations versus just needing that perfect team fight every time.
Okay, so going a little bit more for diversity than idealism.
Yep.
All right, cool. And then we were noticing in game 2, you guys were on the ropes there for a little bit. A lot of good engagements from option 12. So how'd you guys kind of re-strategize or refocus to come back?
Yeah, so we knew a lot of those fights that we were losing, a lot of times Caitlyn wasn't there. And so we're still training some kills. It just came down to we needed to keep Caitlyn alive. And then as far as like Zach being effective, it was just more of a ticking time clock, because Urgot's just going to start shredding through him regardless of how big he gets. So it's just kind of slowing the game down a bit and waiting until we were big enough and we can get all 5 into fights and look for big picks. Trying to catch them out of guard, because again, with Morgana and then Skarner, we have a lot of really good pick potential, and that just really brought us back into the game.
Okay, cool. Arcane, you got anything?
Well, just congratulations on the convincing Game 1 win and then the very volatile Game 2 comeback. Do you have any shoutouts?
Yeah, I guess I'm supposed to be shouting out to Mary, to give some ideas for our draft, and I just want to shout out Shaken as well. He's took a break from the league for a while, and he's always been my number 1 rival in top lane, and today was just a good reminder that he's always going to live in my shadow.
Speaking of living in the shadow of something, I need to ask this since we have you on the air. Oh yeah, by the way, you did glitch out with the first shout out, so who were you shouting out to the first person?
Token. He
okay.
Helped a lot with our comp in the beginning, and just giving us ideas.
All right, so then the question is, Akali, what is your relationship with her now, given her state in the league and the fact that you're top lane now?
Oh, I play Akali top lane. That's where I learned the champion. So like, if I get an opportunity to play it out, and I like what the other team is showing, I'll 100% pull it out of people. Like, if you want to leave that champion up, go for it. But you're giving me a lot of flexibility in my pool with that sitting up there. All
right, because we did have people in chat saying that you weren't going to touch Akali again. So we'll see.
Oh no, I'm 100% a top lane Akali main. like I only recently switched to playing her mid.
All right. Cool. Well, congratulations on the turnaround, and good luck next week as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and with that, we are done with the first set of games. I see a lot of hype in chat for the upcoming set, Blitzkrieg Northern Storm. So we won't delay you guys getting to there any longer. We'll hop out of this and go straight into the second set of the match. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.